to talk about community, specifically trans community, because I don't think I've heard anyone talk about it in quite this way yet, though maybe some people have and I haven't heard it before. So when you're coming out, right, a lot of times the thing that we recommend to people is getting in touch with your local community, your local trans community especially. And this is really great. It's really helpful. But I think it's important to understand what that all means. Because sometimes I think there's a tendency for people to go, okay, wait a minute, this is my community. These guys are all personally like mine, personally connected to me. I will somehow connect with all of these different trans people. They will be my new group. And that's not reality, unfortunately. So I had Jess pull up the definition of community for me. You want to?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was zoning off reading chat. There you go.
That's okay.
It's hidden by partially, but community, noun, often attributive. 1, a group of people who live in the same area, such as city, town, or neighborhood. I would assume that also means like a Discord server, etc. 2, a group of people who have the same interests, religion, race, etc. 3, a group of nations.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few more things down here, too.
A unified body of individuals with common interests, etc. A group of people with common characteristics. Yep, there.
So I think one of the hard parts about being trans is that we do need each other. There are some things that we can do as a community that really help. Okay, this is like collective action stuff like policy, right? Or passing around community resources, okay? You know, one of the really great things that you might need is to get in touch with your local people so you can figure out, okay, which hairdressers are, going to be trans friendly, right? Which doctors do I see? What gyms could I go to, right? Where people have had good experiences. And we need all of those things. And that's a really important function of a community. But the person giving you this advice about a gym, do you need them to be your best friend? Maybe not. And so I think it's important when we look at the trans community to not think of this as these people are all like my personally interconnected friends, but as a larger, kind of group with a lot of different skill sets and different functions and different ways that we can interact with it. I think there might be times where, just finding like the couple of queer people that you really connect with, you can really talk to, that really get you, would be really, really great, right? And those could be your friends, but maybe other people, you share other interests with or other things in common with, but maybe not your best friend. So, do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing is that communities are one of those things that can have a purpose. So, like, our community, for example, is essentially like, I hate to call it this because it sounds really dumb, but it's essentially a fan club for the channel. Does that mean that some of the people in there aren't my friends? No, absolutely. There's people in chat right now that are good friends of mine. I talk to regularly. Lil, one of our mods, is a really good friend of mine. Brittany, I literally call my adopted daughter. Netspace is somebody I'm currently playing 7 days with, like so on and so on. Gay Fesh.
Yeah, there's a lot of Verona.
But
there's a lot of people that we talk to on a regular basis.
Absolutely. But that doesn't mean that the entire community are my friends, right? I don't talk to them. And first off, anyone is safe. We're still getting the process done and we really need to get it done. But basically it is a process by which if you're not in Euclid, you're not going to hear us in voice chat because that's our buffer, right? That allows us to still have interactions with the community. Here's the thing. You're still a member of the community. Even if you haven't directly interacted with us, you're still part of the community. You're still sharing and working towards a goal that is to continue the spread of more truthful information in the world, discussing mental health as what it is, politics, and discussing trans rights. And that's not to say there aren't other communities out there that people are a part of that do similar things. I like to think we do it in a very particular way. Zena being a particular brand of smart and me being a particular brand of obnoxious.
Oh.
So I guess my thought is that if you're doing political activism or doing work, to some degree, you don't have to like everyone around you. Like, there are probably people in the server that, if you're in the server, that piss you the hell off. And that's fine. As long as they're not breaking the rules, be mad at them. They might be aggressive. They might be shitty. They might be any number of things. They're not breaking the rules. It doesn't matter. Like, it's not our job to be friends with everyone in there. It's not your job to be friends with everyone in there. And so I guess my only thought with this is just, you can still mobilize as a community and get things done. Like, we can all work together to build this channel up and hopefully use it as a way to improve things. Like, my goal would be is to find ways that we can do this. I would love to do a charity live stream. I would love to do call-ins. I would love to do a mod night where, you know, the mods get, you know, people donate money and that goes to the mods. I'd like to be able to actually be sustainable enough to do that.
Well, yeah. And I was going to say one of my values is that every person who is trans or potentially trans has access to care and medical, be that medical care, you know, emotional, psychological, right? Some kind of whatever access they need to the resources to help them feel, you know, solid in their body and good about themselves, right? And that doesn't mean I need everybody to be my friend, but that value is way more important to me, right? Than going, okay, this person kind of irritates me. Like, so what? Doesn't really matter. The value of, no, still sharing resources, still like responding when I'm able to, is still my major goal, right? And that's one of the ways that I can show up in a community is resources. That's one of the things I'm actually really good at is finding resources and finding stuff. But I don't need to be friends with them, but I can still, help out my value and my goals there of making sure that everybody's got access to things when, I'm able to. So.
No, absolutely. And here's where we get into the thing is that there's two layers to this, right? And this is kind of my final thought on this, and then we'll kind of move on. But
yeah,
there is a difference between not liking someone in the community because they have a repulsive personality to you, right? There's some people that just grate you the wrong way. And somebody who is doing harm. And so the difference I would make there is that just notice and have the nuance and the capability to notice that is the difference in those things, because we sometimes think, and we'll talk about this in another segment, but we sometimes think that somebody acting in a way that we don't like is the same thing as harm or abuse, and it's fucking not. Good example of this. Blair White is still a member of the trans community. She is transgender. She is a woman. I will defend that to my dying fucking breath.
And I think she should have access to whatever medical care she needs, right?
I also think she's a cunt. Full stop. I think she absolutely is a grifter. The offensive T-slur, I think, is absolutely a man in every conceivable way. A shitty man, but a man. This is the thing. I don't have to like a person's actions and still understand that they're part of the trans community. We don't get to ignore those things. Those people are doing harm. Does that mean they're out of the community? No. Does that mean we have to handle them with pot holders and watch and make sure we don't burn ourselves? Absolutely. They should be treated like they're radioactive. But they're still part of this community. Yeah, Gammy is part of the trans community. No longer part of the Twitter community because she got suspended, and that person's toxic as hell. Like, we have to figure out how to not excise people from those communities, whether it's, we're talking about the larger trans community or like the trans femme community or however you want to frame that, while also still acknowledging the way people affect things. Right? Well,
and my big thing too is being intentional with the way you interact, right? What do I need from this group? What am I getting out of, this community interaction, right? That's a big question. What are you getting out of it, right? Where are my attachments at? And not that they need to change, but just understanding how you fit in, what you're getting. And also, what do I bring to the table, right? How do I show up in this community? What attitudes, and values do I bring with me? So.
Well, and there's layers to this, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's different types of community. For example, Blair White is absolutely part of the trans community. The offensive T-slur, absolutely part of the trans community. As much as I wish, his channel would disappear and it would get, reported to oblivion. My concern is that while, yes, they are members of the trans community, parts of it I don't like, the trans medicalist gatekeepy types, they're not a member of my community.
Well, your personal community. I think that's where I was trying to get at in the beginning, is that my personal friend group is not necessarily the same as the larger trans community, right? The people that I connect with on a day-to-day basis, right? Or the people who are, in DMs with me.
Well, and I want to be really clear that, like, I'm talking about another layer of that. I'm not just saying, like, your immediate friends, and I'm not just saying the trans community as a whole. I'm saying our Discord server,
Okay, yeah.
as a community, the community that built around this channel,
Yeah, that makes sense.
not everyone in here is friends, but also magically and completely fuck those people. They're not welcome here, right?
Yeah. Well, and then this is where you get into different communities overlap and have different, values, right? Going back to, there's a video on lenses and ways to look at things, right? Go see that video. It's somewhere in our backlog history.
Yeah, so that's kind of my thoughts on that. Do you have anything else you want to add, Kisses?
I think just on a personal level, if you are finding that you need queer friends or friends that are like really cool with queerness, right? I suggest looking for communities that specifically state that they are geared towards that, and maybe find an interest to collect around. I generally find that that's a lot easier, right? When there's also like, hey, we all enjoy, this kind of video game, or these kinds of things. So if you're looking for like personal friends, go down that route. But when you need like, larger advice, or other things, go for other avenues. So
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, that's all. I just wanted to address that because I do see a number of people kind of get stuck in this one, right? Do I have to like take the whole trans community on as mine? Well, no, you don't have to.
Absolutely.
So,
well, I think that's everything.
Yeah.
So we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.
If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Also, consider donating to us. You can support us on our website, transgirltherapist.org. You can also help us on our Patreon, link below, or you can become a member here on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching.